process to
Yep.
get to where I need to get to. And it's not, and you're supposed to be selfish in that situation because look, I'm no good to you if I'm only doing this because you want me to do it because I'm not going to be committed.
Not at all.
And when you're touching on stuff about how I think the right relationships come together, they don't really have a ton of work. Like when you and I met, we just started kicking it immediately. It was
Yep.
easy.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of work. When I met Trey, we were kicking it. There wasn't a lot of work. And there's going to be times when you have little spats here and there because you're just getting to know each other and you're getting to learn how each other gets on with life, how they deal with shit that's on their mind and conflict. But ultimately, real niggas recognize that in each other.
Yeah. And I think that's even harder for men though. And I say that because like, I mean, shit, damn near before every podcast or sometime during the week or whatever, like shit going on. Like it might be a lot of shit going on and me and you especially, like Trey called me immediately, but me and you especially, like it might be a few days past before we actually hit each other up and be like, all right, here's what happened. And it's a little different being, in geographically, different places. But I mean, prime example, when I was up there, even if we saw each other face to face every day, I could see you on a fucking Monday. And, shit, some shit could be going on and we'll still be like, all right, we're going to discuss this shit while we smoke hookah on Sunday. It might be a whole fucking week later, but that goes back to like even what I was saying earlier about how we show the stuff and burden it, because I mean both of us say the same shit once we get to a conversation like that, which now is usually, nigga, why didn't you call me? It's like shit, why didn't we have this conversation before now? And it's like not only because I will just say, shit, that's probably some shit I definitely need to get better at, but I also know like it goes a lot with the key thing that you said, processes, right? So I know your process for handling shit, no matter how much is on your plate. Like you will let me know that there's some shit that's going on. You might give me the tidbit, but when the full conversation needs to happen, the full conversation needs to happen. And that's when it will happen, not a second sooner, not a second later. So I'm not sitting there like, Rich, what's going on? Rich, what's going on? Hey man, just checking in. What's going on? Hey, when we going to talk about this? No, you going to say what you going to say. And if you don't say shit at all, guess what I'm saying? Not a fucking thing at all. If you get back around to telling me, so be it. If not, so fucking be it. Now, all I know is there's some shit going on in the event that, I need to ride. And prime example, boy, because like we're so standard. And I mean, this can, one of my female friends can attest to this, because you text me the other day and was like, you text you busy, right? And instantly, as soon as you fucking text you busy, I sat there and I looked at that shit and I like, fuck. And I kind of paused and I was like, Rich don't text me you busy. Like this nigga, is something really going on? This nigga just called me. I mean, for real. You know what I mean? So like to me, and I mean, yeah, I'm real big on human behavior and shit like that by nature of work, but you busy coming from you is like, nigga, so if I was like, like what is your fucking point, bro? Like
what's up?
Am I busy? And it's so funny to me because like I remember Trey calling me to prove this exact point, right? So like Trey called me one time in the presence of a female he had just started talking to, because he was like, no matter what this dude is doing, if I just call him out of the blue and he not expecting a call or we ain't texting, this nigga answering the phone. If he buys phone, the phone is being answered. And I answered. And in his situation, it was a less than ideal situation to answer, but I still answered, right? So I'm like, all right, he know that, and his point is proven, because I'm sitting there like, shit, I need to hit Rich. I handle some shit real quick and then I hit you up, because I'm like, shit, there must be a conversation that need to be had, right? And it's always like, it's always such a small thing with us, because it's that little deviation that's outside of the process. It's always a super small deviation from what is normal for us, because I'm always gonna be sitting there like, what the fuck is Richard Washington texting me you busy for? The closest we get to a you busy text is like, niggas, you on Skype so we can record or some shit like that might be the closest we get. But usually it's like, nigga, I'm gonna call you on my way home, or shit, I'll hit you up in a minute, or I can't even think of a situation I goddamn text you busy. I might say, shit, what y'all doing if I'm trying to have a leisurely conversation, but shit, if I text you busy, there's some shit going on where I need to probably call you then. You know what I mean? So it's like, I already felt a heightened sense of alertness just from two words. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and like Elena was with me at the time, and I'm like I literally stood there by my bed for a minute, and I was like, fuck this nigga text like the fuck this nigga texting me. You busy for right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, nah, and like even the text itself fucked with my mood because I'm sitting there like, shit. What is the process for moving if I need to move? You know. So the shit is like, you know, I can't see too many situations where it's like, I mean, going back to where I started is where like somebody would just see me and consider me as a threat to their friendship if they know how I give it up. Shit. Because my situation, especially with him specifically, if that nigga would have texted me, you busy? I would have been like, the fuck? And I felt like he should know that, especially like from your bachelor party, because we chopped it up a few times when I was trying to, prep the range for us to be there. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you point blank period. And I told him point blank period. There's nothing you can ever ask me to do for you. And especially nothing you can ask me to do in relation to Rich that I'm just not going to move on, bro. You need to get it out of your head that it's an inconvenience for me, that I'm a threat for you. Any of that shit. None of that shit is a fucking factor. And just like I told him, man, done, bro. You go back, you managing this situation. You handle everything else. You let me know what you needed. I got this. I'm going to set this up. We Gucci. This is the part that you don't need to worry about. I got that. You don't let me know you need it. You got it. Move along. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit pop off. You need me. I got you. But for that, got you. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, definitely when it came back around and you was telling me like how shit played out, I'm like, bro, I'm a little confused because I feel like shit. It's a given. You know how I give it up. So now I almost gotta feel like I gotta be on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like shit, if you down here and Rich say, man, that nigga down there in Tampa, and
The energy might change a little bit.
and that's why I say I hate for it to be that way, because like I don't really necessarily got no qualms with him. I don't necessarily like how shit played out just because it involves your wife. Like I'll be honest with that. Like nigga, if it was you on the other hand, I'd be like, nigga, that's for you to handle. You're a grown ass man, take care of that. But when the wife involved, I'm like, shit.
Yes.
I kind of feel like now qualms with you or not. Like if Rich hit me and say, nigga in your area, don't be drastic, but give him a hand or two,
A hand or two might be coming.
Yeah, a hand or two might be coming. And I might goddamn dust you off after, I might pick you up, nigga. I might even goddamn give you a drink, but I'm just gonna tell you straight up. Rich said you need a hand, so you got your hand lathering. But once again, credibility, man. I feel like, I think that's the other thing that bothered me about it. I feel like he improperly vetted or managed your credibility, because if you know and fuck with Rich, you should already know the type of nigga I am, to the point where shit goes without asking. Like, nigga, I'm not a threat to you. I'm the motherfucker where if you need something all that failed, then you should goddamn come holler at me. That's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you should also know, if you fuck with Rich, definitely that it wouldn't be okay to do some shit that involve his wife, and it's, expect for motherfuckers as close as I am to the family. I'm not even talking about you, because I think that's the other part of it. Like, I rock with your family and everybody else with or without you fucking present when I'm up there.
Every time.
So it's like, if you fuck with them, period.
That's a problem.
Yeah, like you not only is it a problem, you should know I'm not gonna be cool with it. I'm not saying I expect him to know this, right? So I don't want people to think, I'm not saying that I expected for him to know that. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of a given by fucking with you. You know what I mean? Like, if it was anybody else besides me, I still feel like if they fucking are rocking with you on the level that we rock, you should already know that it's just a dumb thing to do. But some niggas just say, when you get carried away, you get carried away. And I hate to have to carry niggas away, but shit happens sometimes, man. And like that dude, man, like, yeah. Like, I only never really think I fully expressed how much the shit bothered me, man. Cause like, we had a period of time where I felt like all of us were pretty close. Like, we had goddamn started going to get dinner and shit, and doing other stuff and kind of rocking, especially like right around, before and after your wedding. I was like, all right, shit. This might be a a motherfucker to have around. So I'm like, and even more so after stadium, I'm like, all right, everybody need a peacekeeper every once in a while, especially how hard I give it up. So
Hmm.
I see a role where you could actually be beneficial in all this, and then I didn't see that coming. It went sideways.
It is disappointing, but it also happens in life. You know, as we just laid out, the I think the biggest point from this episode is that, at least for us, and I think we feel this way about how the people close to us should probably manage their relationships. It's a really intense thing.
Yeah,
We invest so much time and emotions and thought into this. So for anyone to come in and try to disrupt that, or to take that for granted, or to disrespect it, it won't be received very well from us.
not at all. Not even
And
close.
for us, you know, the people that are close to us should be treated like we would be treated. And anything less than that is unacceptable. And you know, like it's like creating an enemy.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, that's kind of what you're doing.
So for anyone, this ain't for everybody. But if you decide you want to jump in the circle, you better be ready to go all the way.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people would be better off fucking me over than fucking my friends over. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's how I see it. But yeah, you definitely better be ready to go all the way. I also
Because if
think
you're
people should
not,
know that though. Like, here's the thing though. All right, so it's like on top of that, real quick, like friends don't forget shit. So if you fucked up with me, and I tell my friends, regardless if I forget you or not, they gonna always goddamn remember. So if you fuck up with
mm-hmm.
them directly, like I kind of feel like that's a given. Like you should know you done fucked up. So like I would expect for people to go harder for my friends than they do for me. And if you don't, you definitely can't do no shit like send motherfucking messages on Facebook talking about me or some shit, asking for advice. But you got to goddamn be able to understand the difference, man. Like, you definitely should give it up for the friends. Fuck wrong with
And
you?
you have to understand, with good friends, you can't go behind each other, go behind their back to try to get dirt on them either. Don't use
Yeah.
you can't use them against each other,
I don't even know why people try that.
because they're unhappy with themselves. And the thing that's what we've been talking about the whole time. When you're unhappy with yourself, you make bad decisions on relationships you try to enter into, or you try to shoehorn yourself into, and you make COVID decisions that you probably wouldn't do if COVID wasn't around.
Definitely.
And you just treat yourself the way that you may not treat yourself if you actually gave a shit about who you are.
I like how you put that.
And the only thing we can take, if you don't take anything from this episode, take value yourself as like, to the highest degree, and everything else will fall into place.
Definitely agree with that.
You'll be a better judge of character. You'll be better in your relationships. You'll be a better employee, a better whatever you want to do in life. It all starts with valuing who you are and valuing your journey and your development.
Indeed. And most definitely, in addition to that, I actually think it fall up under that point. Like, pressure can make diamonds or pressure can break things depending on what you're applying pressure to. So to understand your role in a person's life, and definitely make sure you nurture it, right? So don't just goddamn be there and exist, and make sure that you work to actually maintain your relationships, which if you're doing what you're supposed to be, like Rich said, and valuing yourself and what you bring to a person's life, that probably don't mean that you probably don't have to do almost anything, but make sure you're an asset and not a burden. That's huge in both relationships, whether it's COVID cuffing season or friendship or shit, family member. Be an asset, not a burden.
This is grown folks' business. Don't jump into an ice bath if you're anemic.
Rich with the metaphors.
Before we sign out, you got any last words, man? I think this was a good episode, man. What you got?
Not much, man. As always, people can find me at c.e.perdue, Perdue, on Instagram. And as COVID goes on, don't be out here being COVID Karens or COVID Kevins, man. Like, death is some serious shit, whether you come to terms with it or not. So don't go risking your life and health or anybody else's life and health. Just, do what you got to do so we can get through this shit, man, and get back to life.
And at minimum, wear a fucking mask.
Some of y'all need one anyway.
That's true. You can follow me on Instagram at IMSOLEADDICTED.